And welcome back to the video series that I am now entitling This Old Valley, brought to you by Breaking the Image. Now, Breaking the Image, if you're wondering, is a new name for my, I wouldn't call it a company, but my little brand, if you will. Could be a temporary name, could be the final name. We'll see, but for now, Rolling Image had to go, and this is now Breaking the Image, presenting the video series This Old Valley, where we will be looking at things like this old bridge, this abandoned old railroad bridge that may or may not have been at one time just a regular bridge. I see railroad ties, but I have yet to actually look into the history of this. You know, the sad thing about northeastern Pennsylvania history, and this area specifically, is that a lot of our history is not documented, or at least well documented. Nobody really took the time to archive a lot of the dates, a lot of the structures, and when they were built, and when they were torn down, and what was where at which time. And it's a shame. It's one of the reasons, it's one of the things that inspired me to do this video series, is that nobody has documented or is documenting any of this local history or what has been. You can Wikipedia, you could Google, you could scour the internet. Trust me, I have. You will find little to no information about just about everything when it comes to northeastern Pennsylvania. It is, in a sense, clouded in mystery, and it's a shame. None of this history has been documented. One can say that, well, there is not a lot to document. I disagree. I think too much focus has been in the wrong places and not on the enriching of our culture and our history and preserving it and documenting it. Now, I want to get a shot here. Over to our right, we have the new bridge that a lot of us drive over and across every day on our way to work or school. And I'm not sure how many people notice, but in the backdrop right here, hidden amongst the trees really, almost like it's very ghostly, because it, after a while, things like this, structures like this from this era, start to and tend to blend in with their environment. So you see, you got like grass and hay and vines and trees that start growing up and around and through, and the old rustic browns of the steel and oranges start to blend with really the sulfur clay like colored orange water in the surrounding area. And of course the concrete foundations blend in with the rocks, so it's like it almost becomes like one with its surroundings. These old rustic structures that are just so rich in history. And I was gonna do a walk across it, but it does look a little too dangerous for my older self. My younger self, yeah, I probably would have at least gone to maybe about there. But I just don't trust that. I don't trust that wood, even though I'm sure it could hold me. I can't film and carry my coffee along and concentrate and all that at the same time. I mean, I probably could, but I'm not going to. Just lazy. But Ooh, look at that. Look at those two beams just hanging there off the side. That is cool. But and there it is. See? How long has this bridge been here? I hope it stays. I'm guessing it will. I can't see this town or this area taking the time or the money to tear something like this down. But there is some litter and garbage on the ground, but it looks like it is at least somewhat upkept. I would hope and would like to think that some people do come down here and make cleanup efforts. However, I do see a handful of tires and old couches and mattresses and TV sets, things that people have dropped off over the years. I was looking at this old pipe here. Look at this waterway and this little creek, and it leads right under this path, which I think is so cool. And it comes out of this pipe over here, which is so neat, into this little creek here. BT Dub, there is a lot of no trespassing signs for like Wyoming Valley sanitation and things like that. But so I'm not gonna push it right now because it's kind of a peaceful day. They don't mind me parking up where I'm parked. So I'm not gonna push it today, at least. But there's that little pipe, and it flows right into the creek. It's amazing. You know, water is something. It's really something. Because, hey, that water, who knows where that water has been, where it came from, how long it's been there. Did the people who lived here before, did they step through the same water? Is it different water? Maybe some of it's the same. It's just amazing. Now we're gonna go to the top. Just like the soil. That's what I really love, is the structures and the soil. Because it's the same soil for the most part. In a lot of areas, some areas, you know, your topsoil might be a little different, but you really only have to go down not very far, and you're walking and feeling and touching the same soil that the first peoples, even back to the Native Americans, which the word Nanticoke derives from Native American tribes that lived right here along the Susquehanna. So it's just, and one day we're going to even get into that history, that aspect of it as well. But right now, it's all about like those who colonized here as Europeans, particularly the Polish here in Nanticoke. It was the Polish. And we'll be a little daredevilish today, even though it's raining and it's wet and slippery. But look at that. This is Breaking the Image, bringing you an exclusive like no one ever could or would. Ooh, I'm getting a little height sick. Alright. But look at that. And then over there, you have the bridge. And that's where I just was down below. Yeah, it gets pretty high pretty quick. So, like I said, I don't want to push my luck too much here. But look at these great structures that the original people who were here built. Now, we know that a lot of machinery built that, and I'm sure maybe some machinery built this, but this looks way more heavy duty to me, if you ask me, than anything built today. Look at this old black paint can. And the first signs of spring are starting to show. And as the moss slowly begins to cover this structure, I mean, I'm not saying these structures are like the Great Pyramids or anything. Although, in a sense, what's the difference besides time? You know, I mean, in all reality, you just sprinkle, what, 6,000 years, 5,000 years on these railroad structures, and they're just as historic kind of already. If you step outside of time, then they're already eternal. I'll say that again. If you step outside of time, these structures are already eternal. They're just as aged as the pyramids, in a sense. And sure, they're simple, but that's what makes them so great. So, take you down this path one more time. I just wanted to kind of get this structure on video. We don't know how long it'll be here. It might be here until the last day. I mean, it really might be. Because, like I said, I can't see them spending the money. And there goes the school bus. Perfect timing. Because, oh my God. If I knew the number of days that I took that very school bus over to the Greater Nanticoke Area High School every morning for, what, 12 years? Well, I went to Valley West for 2 years, so maybe like 10 years every morning, every school year. I took the school bus over that bridge to school. I think about the scripture when it says that even the numbers of the hairs on your head are numbered with God. And those kind of things, like how many days did I wake up and get on that bus and go to school? See, I don't really know the exact number, but God does. He knows exactly how many mornings I took that bus ride over there. And you know what? On that bus ride, a lot of times I was looking over at this bridge and I was wondering. That's why I'm so glad today I got to come down and get a close-up look at it. It's really something. I would go over here, but like I said, it's no trespassing. If I do go over there, I would not record it. Because that's just like put myself in a position to be in trouble. But, which I don't need any more trouble. Kind of want to do things by the book from here on out. And it's a nice day. There's a light rain. It's late March. It's probably my favorite time of year because this is my birthday month is next month, and my grandfather was born this month, and he passed. The anniversary of his passing is next month, so April's always in early spring, and spring has always been significant to me. No, scratch that. His birthday is next month too. His passing month is coming up. I always kind of get confused on which day that is. I believe it's in May. But yeah, early spring. So, not to get too heavy on you, I'm trying to keep it historic, but like I said, there's not really much of a record about this bridge. I will look into it, and I'll post any links to any vids I can find. If I do find more information, I'll definitely be back down here with a follow-up video. Maybe in closing, we'll just come over to this base over here, because this is really the heart of what I'm trying to say. I don't want to get too much into dates and names like that with history. I just want it to kind of speak for itself. I mean, obviously it's old. I don't think exactly when it was built. It's important, but just take in the fact that it's here. And there's the beam. Oh, and that the people built it. And we'll get a a below shot. And there you see more beams just that have kind of fallen over time. Rain's coming down nicely at a perfect kind of at a perfect way. It's pretty awesome. Well, so that's the old original bridge. That's the original bridge. Not the one we drive over every day, but the original one. Which is just so cool. So I'm gonna look around and see what else I can find. But that's all for this video. Just wanted to document it. A little bit of local history here. Pretty amazing stuff, this old bridge. Alright guys, until next time, so long.